What is up, NV Gang? NV Gang, and I actually made this video yesterday, but there was a problem with the audio, so I'm gonna re-upload this. But the Pelicans lose again, and there's just so many ways I can dissect this. There's just so many angles I can take with this, but at this point, it's getting bad. It's getting really, really bad. Lonzo's in trade rumors. The Knicks want him. The Clippers want him. The Raptors want. There's a lot of teams that are showing interest in Lonzo Ball. The problem is, listen, I don't mind Lonzo getting traded at this point. Preferably, I would want Lonzo to stay with the Pelicans. I think the core with Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson has the potential to be a dynasty in this league, as dominant as the Golden State Warriors. Like, the talent is there. The problem is David Griffin and Stan Van Gundy. And I'm going to break this down systematically. Listen to me. Stan Van Gundy is not like, he has this very antiquated, old school style of play that just does not fit in today's modern NBA. His thing is he wants a very slow, methodical, set after set after set style of play that does not work. You have his ideals are best suited for the 90s, early 2000s, where it was just defense, and you worry about the offense later, and you go through set after set after set. The thing is, that doesn't work in this current NBA. It never worked, and it never will work. Why Stan Van Gundy keeps doing this, only he knows. The problem with the system is that you got so many players that just don't fit it. Listen, this team needs to run with pace. You have all these young players that flourish in pace, where it's transition offense, where the defense isn't set and you're able to get easier buckets running up and down the court. What Van Gundy wants is like some 90s old school basketball type of thing. He's not utilizing players to their correct strength. Having Brandon Ingram as a point forward does not work because Brandon Ingram is forced to do too much. He's supposed to be a lead scorer. Plus, he's supposed to initiate the offense and set other people up. And it's too much, yo. Like, Brandon Ingram's not LeBron. Like, let's just stop with it. Let's get Brandon Ingram easy points, an easy way to score instead of him working so hard, him being double teamed and triple teamed. That's not going to work. Same thing with Zion Williamson. This offense is so stagnant and predictable. It's just so there's going to be a handoff play. Steven Adams going to have it at the top of the key. He's going to hand it off to Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram is going to dribble the air out the ball. And so he either gets the shot he likes or he's going to pass it off to a teammate. There's no offense. There's no ball movement. There's a whole lot of nothing in this team. A whole lot of nothing. Nothing is going on. There's no movement. There's literally nothing happening on the squad or on this team. And it's plain as day. The Pelicans record should not be, 5 wins, 9 losses. There's just too much talent for that. And you only have to blame the coach. Now we're going to get into David Griffin. David Griffin. I thought this would be a good pickup when, you're the general manager of the Pelicans now. You were the general manager of the Cavs. I thought this was going to be a good pickup, but it seems that you, David Griffin, are overrated. He's simply overrated. Why you keep loading up on the point guard spot? Why you didn't get shooters? Why David Griffin will let this team literally just burn to the ground, I don't know. But the way this roster is set up is horrible. Why did you keep Eric Bledsoe when you already have a point guard in Lonzo? Both of their positions are suited to be the point guard. Eric Bledsoe doesn't fit this team, and it's not Eric Bledsoe's fault, but he's not a shooter. You need a shooter to surround Zion and Steven Adams. If Bledsoe's not a knockdown shooter, how is he supposed to play his game with Zion and Steven Adams occupying the paint? Well, like, I don't get it. David Griffin, I don't get it. Why would you load up on the point guard spot? It's clear as day to me that they have no faith in Lonzo. They don't want Lonzo, and Lonzo will more than likely be traded, or they're going to let him walk, in my personal opinion. I think that's what's going to happen, because at this point, I don't know how things could get better. They certainly can't get any worse, but it is just ridiculous. Why don't let other people flourish in the system? I don't know. But David Griffin, you got some answering to do. Now, I was a very vocal critic of ALVIN Gentry. I thought that ALVIN Gentry was just a slightly better coach than Luke Walton. Mind you, that's not much of a compliment because Luke Walton to me was one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. But he was a slightly better version of Luke Walton. Now, fast forward, was he took too long to trust Lonzo. He took way too long to trust Lonzo. It took him long to Lonzo with the ball, trust Lonzo with the offense. Like, let Lonzo play his way. What's his strengths? Like, a good coach plays to their players' strengths, right? In Stan Van Gundy's system, Lonzo is playing off the ball as a shooting guard. What? Lonzo is known to be a pass-first point guard that is best suited when he gets his teammates involved. He passes the ball to everyone, and that's his style of play. There's no player that says playing with Lonzo puts you the ball and puts you in position to score and to succeed. So why you would have Lonzo playing off the ball? Ridiculous. Simply ridiculous. It doesn't make no sense at all. A pass-first point guard playing off the ball. Okay. Now, we're going to get into the trade rumors. The Knicks want Lonzo Ball. The thing is, what package would the Knicks give to get Lonzo Ball that wouldn't be mediocre? Like, if Lonzo goes to the Knicks are still going to be under 500. Yeah, Lonzo would float. All right, let's fast forward to the Clippers. Do you guys not realize that Lonzo was signed to, like, Rich Paul? Why would Rich Paul want the Clippers, or AKA LeBron, to get better? If the Clippers get Lonzo Ball, the team will get better. So that I'm not saying it won't happen, but it's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. The Dallas Mavericks have expressed interest in Lonzo Ball. The problem with that is you have Luka Doncic, who's ball dominant. Luka Doncic is going to have the ball in his hands, and he has a high usage rate. So Lonzo is going to be playing off the ball again. Another thing, too, they're saying, oh, the Raptors have interest in Lonzo Ball. Raptors have Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry. You just paid Fred VanVleet this season, too. So where does Lonzo fit in this? Lonzo's not the answer to the Raptors' problems. I don't see Lonzo going to the Mavericks. The Clippers make sense, the Knicks make sense, and the Chicago Bulls make sense. But I don't know what package those teams will give to get a Lonzo Ball. Just let Lonzo play his style of play. I don't understand what the big deal is. And I'm blaming David Griffin, the head GM of the team. I'm blaming you, David Griffin, for how this team looks and why they're so mediocre. I'm also blaming this whole playing old school, and like, the Pelicans are 27th in pace in the league. 27th in pace in the whole league. How? How are the Pelicans 27th in pace in the whole league? This is a young team. Why are you 27th in pace in the whole league? That makes absolutely no sense. It makes zero sense. Why are you having Lonzo play off the ball? Brandon Ingram, after the loss against the Utah Jazz, his face said it all. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Ingram tries to force a trade. He's never been to the playoffs. Lonzo's never been to the playoffs. Brandon Ingram has never been to the playoffs. Josh Hart has never been to the playoffs. Zion has never been to the playoffs. And they're in the prime of their lives, essentially. So you're going to waste the prime of your lives being mediocre. The Pelicans have always been a losing franchise. But to waste your youth, to waste your God-given talent and skill to be mediocre because the head coach can't use you right, because several the GM or the head office is incompetent, Come on, stop it. Stop it. I want the best for BI. I want the best for Lonzo too. The talent is there. The system just sucks. Now we've seen a little bit of an adjustment last game against the Jazz where they were playing faster and Lonzo had a higher usage rate than normal. The problem was too little, too late. Why did they stop feeding Brandon Ingram after he was hot? He made like 4 threes. Then they stopped feeding him. Why did they stop feeding Brandon Ingram? That makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. But at this point, nothing the team does surprises me anymore. It's just sad to see that Brandon Ingram's talent is going to be wasted. It's sad to see that Lonzo's talent may get wasted. That game was just so bad. Van Gundy gets ejected. The team goes on a little run, but it's too little, too late. I'm hoping that they can build from this and really go because it's looking like Brandon Ingram's going to walk. He's going to walk eventually. If the team's just mediocre again, how is Brandon Ingram supposed to flourish? I say keep Lonzo on the team and let him run his duties as the point guard. This is why ALVIN Gentry got fired last season, because it took ALVIN Gentry too long to let Lonzo run the offense. At this point, I'd rather have ALVIN Gentry back on the team than Stan Van Gundy, because at least he knew how to utilize JJ Redick. He knew how to utilize Lonzo and Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram became an all-star under ALVIN Gentry. He won most improved player under ALVIN Gentry. Like, the talent on the team is there. This is the same team from last year. So how come the same team from last year is now mediocre and under 500 and they're 27th in pace in the whole league? I thought Stan Van Gundy was supposed to be allegedly a defensive coach, but they allow the most three-pointers in the league. And teams are dropping, 115, 120 on them every single game. So how is Stan Van Gundy this defensive-minded coach or whatever when the team is worse from last year? They're playing slow as hell. You're having Lonzo Ball play as the off guard, the shooting guard, a pass for his point guard, who's known to get his teammates involved, everybody else involved. You're having him play off the ball and stand in the corner. What? This is a contract year for Lonzo. That's horrible. Brandon Ingram looked like he was fed up after he sat on the bench and they lost another game. He looked like he was done. I don't know what it is at this point. I really don't know. Nadine August says, trade Lonzo, Bledsoe, Redick, Melly. It's not the coach job to shoot the ball. See, Nadine, I agree with you, but the thing is, look when they had ALVIN Gentry, and mind you, I am no fan of ALVIN Gentry. Listen, I don't like ALVIN Gentry. I'm not a fan of ALVIN Gentry. I really don't rock with ALVIN Gentry like that. But when ALVIN Gentry finally trusted Lonzo with the ball, when he finally let Lonzo run the offense, the Pelicans were like one of the best teams in the whole league. They were a sleeper team where it was like any team that was going to face the Pelicans, they were on watch. Because when the Pelicans were running on all gears, they were dangerous, real dangerous. So, yeah, it's not the coach's job to shoot the ball, but it is the coach's job to recognize their players' strengths and weaknesses and play to their strengths. How come JJ Redick, who's one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time, has regressed? Melly, he didn't have that great of a first season, but this season, he's almost unplayable. What's the difference? The coach. Hey, Kid Max, a long time, one of my early subscribers, actually, one of my very first subscribers. What's up, bro? He says this shit is getting crazy, low key, but I'm still hopeful, but I don't know. It's a lot going on. I'm still rooting to see where Stan go with this. See, Kid Max, I don't want to necessarily give up on Stan Van Gundy because from the last game, when they did that little interview before he got ejected, he said, yeah, he made some adjustments. They're playing with pace. Now, he didn't look happy to say it. Like, I think it probably hurt him a little to try to change his game plan and, whatever the case else was. But I'm showing that he's not too stubborn. So as long as he's not too stubborn, hey, it is what it is. Kid Max says, keep proud of you, bro. Keep going. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna keep going, man. We all support the Ball family, Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, LiAngelo Ball. We want to see them succeed. Lonzo's playing on the Pelicans, so of course I want to see the Pelicans succeed. Like, it is what it is. And yeah, he says, yeah, that's crazy. It is crazy how this team is mediocre. Why is the team's record under 500? Why? Why is the team's record under 500? This makes no sense to me. Like, Lonzo is playing off the ball. Lonzo's a pass first point guard. Why would you have a pass first point guard standing in the corner playing off the ball? That makes no sense. Why is this offense so stagnant, predictable, and boring? Why are the Pelicans 7th in pace in the whole league? They're one of the slowest teams in the whole league. Why? Stan Van Gundy. This is not 1990s where everyone's playing this. Everyone thinks Stan Van Gundy is a defensive head coach. Yo, Stan Van Gundy's whole defensive philosophy is, let them shoot three. Team in the NBA can shoot. If you're going to give them space and time to shoot, they're going to score on you. Like, this head office, I don't know. Nadine August says we need Bradley Beal. See, the thing is, the last 5 years, but what package are you going to give to get a Bradley Beal, though? What are you going to give up to get Bradley Beal? For the Washington Wizards, they want an Ingram. They want a Zion. If Ingram and Zion are not in that package, they don't want Melly, Jackson Hayes, Eric Bledsoe. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want a franchise player. They want an all-star. They don't want a whole bunch of bench pieces and first-round picks or second picks. They want for Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal in the NBA wants Bradley Beal. So as much as I would love a Bradley Beal to come on the squad, it's going to require a lot of pieces, a lot. It's going to have to require a Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball in a piece, or Zion Williamson in a piece, and that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, as much as I would love it. Kid Max says, we don't need nobody, IMO. I wish we could have kept Drew. To be honest with you, I wanted them to keep Drew as well. Now, listen, the problem with Drew Holiday last season and why the fans were getting on Drew Holiday and this and that, and I bring it back to David Griffin put in Drew Holiday's mind that he's an MVP level player, and he challenged Drew Holiday to win the MVP award that year, and it ruined his whole game, his whole philosophy to the game. Listen, Drew Holiday is a great player. Great player. He's a good third, second, whatever option you want to call him, right? He's not an MVP level player. The problem last season was Drew Holiday was trying to run the offense, facilitate, be the point guard and the shooting guard, and Lonzo was relegated to standing in the corner to shoot a three. Drew Holiday was trying to do too much, and the offense was just mucked up because Drew Holiday played his game. Not his game. He's not an MVP level player. He's a great player, fringe all-star player, but he's not that player. So yes, after the all-star break, when ALVIN GENTRY finally trusted Lonzo with the ball, finally just took him, 7 months to realize he had a point guard. It's like, wait, you mean to tell me we have a point guard this whole time? Oh, okay. Yeah, like 7 months later, and he told the whole team that, hey, listen, Lonzo's our point guard. Lonzo and whatever, that pressure off Drew. Drew Holiday played his best that whole season as well. The whole team was clicking when everybody knew their roles, right? So yeah, we could have kept Drew Holiday, to be honest with you. But conversely, when I think about it, if we don't trade Drew Holiday, we don't get Steven Adams. And that was our problem at the center spot, because this dude, Derek Favors wasn't doing it. Derek Favors, he's okay, but Derek Favors is not the answer to Anthony Davis. He's not the answer to Joel Embiid. He's not the answer to Rudy Gobert. He's not the answer to any of the premier centers in the league. Every time Derek Favors is matched against one of those centers, it's a bad matchup for Derek Favors. So we needed someone like a Steven Adams who can go toe-to-toe with an Anthony Davis, with a Joel Embiid, with a Bam Adebayo. All the premier centers in the league, you need someone like a Steven Adams to get the job done. And the only way we get Steven Adams is if we trade Drew Holiday. So yeah, Drew could have stayed on the team, but we needed a real center in that backup spot because even till today, Jackson Hayes is at least 2 to 3 years from being a real center in the league. To me, Jackson Hayes' ceiling is like a JaVale McGee. Now, you might say, oh, a JaVale McGee, you think Jackson Hayes can only, but if you really think about it, Jackson Hayes and JaVale McGee have a similar body frame and they have a similar game. They're lob threats, they're rim runners, and they're supposed to be shot blockers. But Jackson Hayes is not nowhere close to that level as a JaVale McGee. Like if Jackson Hayes could, I don't know, work out with JaVale McGee or learn a few things or try to model his game after JaVale McGee, I think his ceiling will be a JaVale McGee, which is not bad. JaVale McGee is a championship player. He's a championship level role player. So if Jackson Hayes could get to that level or that point in his career, it would be a problem. Kid Max says ALVIN was the problem last year. ALVIN Gentry was the problem last year. That's a fact. But he was only a problem because it took too long for him to trust Lonzo. It was only until the All-Star break that ALVIN Gentry realized that he had a point guard this whole time. So that's what I think. The viral load, that's a funny name. Move on from Lonzo. Everyone knows he ain't it. That's the thing, though. Lonzo's a very talented player. The problem with Lonzo is he just doesn't have no one believing in him. Like I don't want to sound like a Lonzo Ball apologist. I make excuses for Lonzo. Lonzo's my favorite player, but I always keep it real. It's always facts over feelings on this channel. And Lonzo really is it, but you have two eyes the same way I have two eyes. You see Lonzo standing in the corner, right? You see that the system is telling Lonzo to play off the ball when he's a pass first point guard. So how is he supposed to flourish in a system like that? Kid Max, more consistent and aggressive or until he tell the team to run with Zoe. That's a fact. That's 100% fact. Nadine August says, love Steven Adams. Shout out from New Zealand. Yo, Steven Adams is a top 10 center in the league. Like, in fact, I forgot what poll it was, but they said Steven Adams is literally the strongest player in the league. The strongest player. Like around the league, people love and respect Steven Adams because he's the strongest player in the league. He sets the best screens, high basketball IQ. He plays heavy defense, and he can bang with Joel Embiid. He can go toe-to-toe with a Giannis Antetokounmpo. He can go toe-to-toe with an Anthony Davis. He can go toe-to-toe with a Rudy Gobert. Derek Favors can't do that for you. Jackson Hayes cannot do that for you. When we had Jahlil Okafor, he could not do that for you. So as much as I hate that we got rid of Drew, because I think that Drew finally found his role on the team, we needed a real center. And that's the only good move David Griffin did this offseason, was to get Steven Adams. Everything else, getting Eric Bledsoe, I don't know what this dude is thinking. What else? Trading, instead of keeping George Hill, who's a 40% three-point shooter. George Hill is a 40% three-point shooter. This team needs shooting. Why would you trade or give up a shooter for Eric Bledsoe, who is not a shooter? This is where I'm seeing the incompetence start to come in. The incompetence. Kid Max says, I like Adams. Derek Favors will have a good career, though. That's the thing, though. I really rock with Derek Favors. Derek Favors was good, but he's not no premier center. Like, I remember seeing Derek Favors would have a few good games, but not Anthony Davis. He's not the answer to a Giannis. He's not the answer to Joel Embiid. He's not the answer. Yeah, a lot of people recognize each other from the channel, you know. Y'all getting into it. Okay, Pelicans fan 84 says when the offense was running with Zoe, it was flourishing last night. I don't know why they want to wait from him. Yo, bro, this is crazy because it's like Stephen Gundy. I don't know if he's been watching my videos. I don't know if someone finally caught into him because everybody's saying this team is playing too slow. Everybody's saying this team is playing too slow. And I think it finally got into his gut. Wait a minute. Maybe a team like this, we shouldn't be playing so damn slow. And he finally, I seen Lonzo run off more than a whole season. The ball was in his hands. When somebody can't make something work, they find Lonzo to get the ball back to Lonzo, where Lonzo was actually playing like a point guard. And the team was running. They were playing with pace. Even the announcers were saying, whoa, this team is actually running. They're actually playing with pace. They made an adjustment. Cool. Listen, I don't know why they went away from Lonzo. And another thing, too, I don't know why they went away from Brandon Ingram. If you see my thumbnail, you see Brandon Ingram with a sad face. You see Brandon Ingram mad. He's tight by the fact that not only did they go away from Lonzo, they also went away from Brandon Ingram as well. Brandon Ingram was doing his thing, and then they went away from him. So at this point, I don't know. Because Brandon Ingram literally scored 4 3-pointers in like the first quarter, the first half. Like Brandon Ingram was on fire, and then they put him on the bench. So if your best player is hot, why would you take him out the game? That makes no sense to me. Literally makes zero sense to me at all. So I don't know what's good with the team. If Stephen Gundy can make the proper adjustments, have this team run, transition offense, let Lonzo run the offense. Listen, we could still, the playoffs are still in reach. Yeah, we're under 500, but if Stan Van Gundy doesn't go into his old ways and play the slow-paced basketball, if he stops saying, oh, like this is the 90s or something, and players can just take 3 after 3 after 3, we guard the three-point line correctly, this team is still dangerous. It's still dangerous, but he needs to adapt and learn, and that's what I hope. Nadine Augustus says, I'm scared to watch the Pels now. LOL. Even if we 20 points, we're going to lose the game. It's sad. Yo, the Pelicans are our first quarter team. The Pelicans do great the first quarter. And then after the first quarter, our bench is horrible. The Pelicans might have one of the worst benches in the whole league. And it's crazy because the people coming off the bench are actually talented players. Josh Hart is talented. JJ Redick is talented. Melly had promise. Like, Melly was supposed to be a stretch big. So the fact that Melly is regressed to the point where he's almost unplayable. Willie Herman Gomez, I haven't seen enough of him to know anything. Kira Lewis is still a rookie, but he shows potential. Nickeil Alexander-Walker should be in that starting lineup. Either Nickeil Alexander-Walker should be in that starting lineup or Josh Hart should be in the starting lineup. Because this Eric Bledsoe thing, listen, I don't want to sound like I hate Eric Bledsoe. He's a good player, but he doesn't fit for this team or the system. Again, why you would get rid of George Hill, a 40% three-point shooter, for Eric Bledsoe? David Griffin must be smoking crack. He must be smoking crack. I don't understand what's wrong with David Griffin. But yeah, the Pelicans are just a first quarter team. They do their thing in the first quarter, and as soon as the bench comes in, they blow the lead, or the opposing team just goes on a crazy run. So at this point, it is what it is. I've just given up on David Griffin and the team. Hopefully, we still make the playoffs, but at this point, I'm not holding my breath for anything. It is what it is. But if Lonzo goes to another team, I won't be mad at it. If he gets traded, I won't be mad at it. If Brandon Ingram requests a trade, I won't be mad at it because the front office is incompetent. The coach, listen, Van Gundy, this is not the 90s. Like bro, like this slow ass pace, this boring, unimaginative offense. Like, oh my God. I don't know. Kid Max says, I agree with you, bro. But the one thing that is letting me be patient is that this is a different kind of season, you know? They need more time. I'm hoping that's all it is all around. I think so too, to a certain extent, right? I'm not too sure. Like, to a certain extent. Kim Max says, I believe Stan will start to live and die with Zoe and BI and Zion, which needs to be the focus. I'm trusting they will figure it out. With Stan Van Gundy, it's honestly not that hard, bro. With Stan Van Gundy, what he needs to learn and do is let Lonzo run the offense, because Lonzo's not a shooting guard. He's a point guard. And listen, I don't care about team politics. Eric Bledsoe needs to come off the bench. Listen, Eric Bledsoe needs to come off the bench. Eric Bledsoe is like a slasher. He's going to get inside the interior. He's going to get into the paint and try to do a mid-range or attack the basket. He plays like a prototypical point guard. The thing is, there's no space in the paint for him to do that with Steven Adams and Zion Williamson in the paint. He can't do that. So unless he's shooting the three, which he's not a good three-point shooter, he's average to below average through shooting the three. You don't want Eric Bledsoe just taking mad shots. You need a true shooting guard. And Eric Bledsoe is a point guard. Lonzo Ball is a point guard. So you need to take Eric Bledsoe out of the starting lineup and put Josh Hart or Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the two guard. Nickeil Alexander-Walker really is a two guard. Nickeil Alexander wants to shoot the ball. He wants to score the ball. Let Lonzo worry about playmaking and getting other people involved and setting people up and facilitating and running the offense. All Nickeil Alexander-Walker has to do is score. That provides spacing on the floor. So Zion can do his thing, Steven Adams can do his thing, and Nickeil can shoot the lights out of the ball because other teams are going to have to respect his ability to score, and Nickeil Alexander can score. It's so simple. If Stan Van Gundy does those things and he stops having this messed up defensive philosophy where we're going to let every team just shoot the three and we're just going to live if they make the... No, bro, it's 2021. Every team in this league can shoot. Every team in this league has shooters. Like, why are you going to let people just score on your head top time and time again? Like, listen. This whole we're just going to let teams shoot threes and we're just going to take a seat back does not work. Van Gundy, it does not work. So if he can make those adjustments, this team can still make it to the playoffs. Ken Max says, word, Hart is better. Yeah, Josh Hart is better than Eric Bledsoe. Or he's a better fit than Eric Bledsoe. So I don't know. Yeah, see, and that's the thing, Ken Max. I don't want to seem like, I hate Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe's a good player. The only thing is he just doesn't fit with this offense. Eric Bledsoe doesn't fit with this offense, and he doesn't fit with the system. It's not Eric Bledsoe's fault. I blame David Griffin and the Pelicans management because they said to themselves, we're going to trade George Hill, who's a 40% three-point shooter, and we're going to add Eric Bledsoe. That makes no sense. Nadine August says, can we please give Kira more minutes? I like Kira Lewis, but his first season in the league, they're playing him how I expected him to play him. Kira Lewis is probably one of the fastest point guards in this league, but Kira Lewis still needs time to develop. Very talented, but also very, very raw. Like, Kira Lewis is low-key more raw than Nickeil Alexander was last year. Like, if you watch him play, very, very raw. So I think his minutes will increase over time, but I don't see Kira Lewis playing any meaningful minutes this season. I think he's slowly going to have to work it up and develop and grow, to be honest with you. Kid Max says Nickeil Alexander-Walker is my guy too. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is my guy as well. Like, I really rock with Nickeil. Like, he could really score. Now, when people were saying, "Oh, Nickeil is gonna take Lonzo's spot and whatever," I think the Pelicans plan for Nickeil to eventually take that starting point guard spot and just have Lonzo be like a fart in the wind, honestly. But Nickeil and Lonzo can play together in that starting five, as Nickeil as the shooting guard and Lonzo as the point guard, and Lonzo getting everybody involved and Nickeil doing what he does best, which is score the ball. So that's what I think. Kid Max says Melly needs more minutes too. See, I still have hope for Melly. I still believe and have hope for Melly. I think the reason why Melly has played badly all the way to this point is because of Stan Van Gundy. Listen, Melly played a whole lot better when we had ALVIN Gentry. He's not he played overseas. Like, Melly could shoot the ball overseas. We brought Melly to this team so he could shoot the ball. I don't think Melly just forgot how to shoot. I think it's the system and how Van Gundy is playing Melly, which is why he's been playing so bad to the point where he's like unplayable. I still have a lot of hope for Melly. I still like Melly because he's a big who can shoot. We're complaining about shooting. We're complaining about spacing the floor. Melly's supposed to be one of those shooters that are supposed to fix that problem. But I don't know. Nickeil Alexander-Walker needs to be in that starting lineup. I don't know. At this point, I want Lonzo to stay with the Pelicans. If he gets traded, it is what it is. All I know is that if Lonzo gets traded from the Pelicans are just going to be mediocre. See how Anthony Davis requested a trade because he couldn't deal with the nonsense on the Pelicans? Brandon Ingram's eventually going to request a trade. Zion Williamson is going to request a trade because it's not fair to those players to have such a mediocre team. Mediocre and Stan Van Gundy, who's still living like it's in the 90s. Like, come on. Like, Stan Van Gundy, if he doesn't make adjustments, I don't know. Kid Maz, when is the trade deadline? That's a good question. Usually the trade deadline is either a little bit before All-Star break or after All-Star break. But with the way the season got shortened, I'm not too sure. But they've already been making trades. Like, James Harden got traded to the Nets. I think the Rockets traded for like a center recently. And Lonzo's recently been in trade talks with the Knicks, the Raptors, the Mavericks, the Clippers, the Bulls. Like, there's mad teams that have inquired about Lonzo Ball. So it wouldn't surprise me if Lonzo did get traded before or around the trade deadline. The thing is, though, Lonzo has to be more assertive, number one. Number two, if the Pelicans trade Lonzo, that would be like the nail in the coffin, because whoever they're going to trade for Lonzo, the team's not going to get any better if they don't change a couple of things. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, please comment off of here. But again, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe if you like the channel. If you're a fan of Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, basketball related things, I talk about all those things on my channel. So please hit that like, comment, subscribe. It does do a lot. Nadine says, I have faith in the team, but we need a trade. We need 3-point shooters. We do. So I say trade Eric Bledsoe. Trade Eric Bledsoe. Get shooters. There's a team that's going to need a Eric Bledsoe type player because he's a good player. Let's get some role players that can shoot. And Kid Max, peace, bro. Keep going. We'll connect soon. Yeah, Def, bro. It was great chatting with you guys. You know, more content on the way. I appreciate all of you. It's your boy Fralta Envy. Envy Gang. I'm out.